Colonel retired Mohammad Hanif from Pakistan, Islamabad Policy Research Institute. I want to speak about Pakistan-US relations. According to my research and analysis, despite the past upheavals during ups and downs during war on terror, fighting as a non-NATO ally with the US, Pakistan-US relations are on the road to improvement. And previously also the relations were very good, and we fought the war together, and it was a good cooperation except small little suspicions that occurs in such a long war. That was a very testing time for both the sides, and it was a difficult war. In these wars, such like doubts they are created, but they were clarified, and there were certain moments of tension, but that was out of misperceptions and some wrong information maybe. So that both countries handled well, and at this stage, Pakistan-US relations are advancing in a positive manner. The US being the sole superpower and our old ally, Pakistan always wants very good relations with the United States. And all Pakistanis, this impression, according to my assessment, is not correct that most of the Pakistanis, they do not like the US. No. According to my assessment, if the proper analysis is carried out, which I have already done, most of the Pakistanis like to have good relations with the US. The only question is that at the moment, because of strategic partnership signed between the United States and the defense cooperation, initially Pakistan probably thought that Pakistan is being ignored in South Asia, and India is being given primacy. Now, since our dispute of Kashmir and other disputes with India are still outstanding, till those are resolved, so we have a threat from India from the eastern side. And India is also having influence in Afghanistan, from which, according to Mr. Hagel, former Defense Secretary of the United States, and McChrystal's report sent to the Senate, both have agreed that India is there. Because of India's presence in Afghanistan, the problems are being created for Pakistan. The stability inside. They are the witnesses. So that is also a Pakistan's worry. But over a period of time, we observed that particularly during sanctions on Iran for its nuclear crisis, nuclear issue, and Ukraine crisis, and various other occasions, India absolutely did not implement US sanctions. India was not with the US totally. India was having its legs on both sides, on many sides. So since India follows its so-called sovereign policy, so according to us, our assessment and also practically observed by the US so far, maybe commercial interests of the US are there, and we don't have any objection US having good relations with India. That is sovereign right of every country. But the only question is that what we are worried about is that all the defense equipment of the Western markets, including US and nuclear cooperation due to nuclear deal, the markets are open for India. And if India keeps getting the weapons and Pakistan doesn't get the equivalent weapons from the Western markets and the US, then the strategic balance which is there in South Asia, which is very important for the security and sovereignty and existence of Pakistan, that will be eroded, and Pakistan will be again at the disadvantage. So Pakistan wants that what America should think about Pakistan is now that Pakistan is very important two Americans for peace in Afghanistan and Central Asia, and for its interest in the Muslim world at large. So we feel that in US politics of South Asia, we should get our proper place. We are not opposed to the relations of the US with India, but we want our own, in our own right, we suggest to the US that US also have good relations with Pakistan, and you should also be concerned about Pakistan's defense needs and maintenance of strategic balance. And Pakistan wants a nuclear deal with the United States without any preconditions, just like it was done with India and waiver from the NSG group. And it should also be formed the member of all the groups as India is being made, so that strategic balance remains intact and Pakistan's existence is not endangered. And United States and other major powers should also pressurize India to resolve the Kashmir and other issues with Pakistan, because now Pakistan wants that these issues should be resolved. This age is of economics, economic development, and welfare of the people, which South Asian people have suffered for too long. Therefore, all the major powers, particularly the US, they should try and pressurize India to sit down with Pakistan on the table and resolve the issues by give and take policy. And they should not follow zero-sum policy, because zero-sum policies, by these policies, the issues are never resolved. And particularly once China has taken the initiative in this region of the one belt, one road, and then corridors being constructed through Pakistan to Gwadar, and then through Iran to Central Asia and China, and then another corridor from Myanmar, India, Bangladesh, and China, and one corridor through ASEAN and the other through Vietnam. If all these things and a lot of investments which China is doing in these countries, economic development will take place. Central Asia will be connected with South Asia and other regions, and Middle East will be connected with this West Asia and Central Asia and China. So America is also doing many things for the economic development of this region. So we feel that Pakistan should have its own place in American policy, and Pakistan, as Mr. Murkey, an eminent scholar from the United States, has written in his book, that Pakistan is very important for the US as far as peace in Afghanistan is concerned, peace in Central Asia and US interests there are concerned, and also for its good relations with the Islamic world. Because Pakistan, being a vibrant economy, having young population, which can contribute positively towards economic development, and a good standing army to fight against terrorism, as we have fought. We are the country was fighting with the US and suffered maximum casualties, more than 60,000 lives, and more than $100 billion of the economic losses. And no other country, no soft forces taken together have suffered so much as Pakistan has suffered just to fight war on terror. And Pakistan on its own land is fighting the war on terror, and is almost in the last phase of the operation being launched in North Afghanistan. And this is irrespective of what terrorist groups is being affected. All the terrorists, most of the terrorists have been killed, or they have ran away to Afghanistan. Now there is a need that Afghanistan cooperates with Pakistan, and the four countries talks, that is USA, China, and Pakistan and Afghanistan, the effort should be made that they succeed and we can achieve peace in Afghanistan. Pakistan doesn't want that Taliban should come to power in Afghanistan. Pakistan only wants is that all the ethnic groups in Afghanistan should come to an understanding, and they should make a consensus government, so that Taliban, being warring side, also becomes part of the political system of Afghanistan, and war comes to an end, and emphasis is given on regional connectivity and economic development. This is what Pakistan wants. And Pakistan wants to develop long-time relations, as I have already mentioned, with the United States. We have long history of being allies of each other, and Pakistan was the one that facilitated in 1970 secret meeting between the United States and China, which largely improved their relations of both the countries. So Pakistan has in its own capacity done enough. Whatever complaints US had about fighting war and terror, that was not because of bad intentions of Pakistan or double play. It was because of the limitations of Pakistan. That Pakistan taking the action against terrorists in phases, and because Pakistan was worried about its internal security as well. So it was taking action in the phases, taking people of Pakistan along with that. Without people's support, you cannot, succeed. So terrorists were separated from the people's support, and then Pakistan got the successes, and now it is almost going to end the operations. And sporadic events keep happening in this kind of war, which will take another 1 or 2 years to completely root out the terrorism. This is what I feel. And my view is that Pakistan relations with the US can be, quickly improved if United States gives Pakistan proper place in its own right in this. India might be very useful for United States at the world level and elsewhere, but Pakistan is definitely useful for American policies and interests in this part of the world, that is Afghanistan's peace, Central Asia peace, and US relations with the Muslim world. And that is my thesis. And this is what I think about Pakistan-US relations. If you have any question, you can ask.